Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's edition of Reading 365 on this beautiful Friday, December 18th already. This month is flying by. If you're joining us live, welcome. If not, catch us on replay. Of course, we love to have you. We love to reach everyone we possibly can. Obviously, that's one positive of having been able to transform to a platform like this. Obviously, we miss being in person with all of our young readers, but the fact that we can reach anyone across the globe, this is just wonderful. So I hope you all enjoy today's reading. We have a very special guest, and it is my understanding it is his first time on this platform, but certainly he's been around from the early days of Mr. Floyd Stokes' 500 men reading, or I guess it started as 100 men reading. It's much bigger now, but you were probably around in those early days. Like I said, from the American Literacy Corporation, we just have this wonderful program that we obviously love touching young readers in person, but here we are on this virtual world and we're loving it. So our special guest today is Mr. James Carter. He is local right now to Central Pennsylvania. He's a retired administrator from the Milton Hershey School, but he's originally from Aliquippa, PA, which I believe is Western Pittsburgh. Okay, James, well, I'm going to turn it over to you if you just want to let us know what book you're reading and share that with us, and then we'll have some time to talk at the end, okay?
Okay. I will be reading the book Amazing Grace by Mary Hoffman. This is a really interesting program, a really interesting book that I think that children will like because it will spike your imagination. Okay, so I'm going to ask that you pay attention, listen up, because you're going to hear some fine things about this young lady named Grace. As we start, Grace was a girl who loved stories, okay? She didn't mind if they were read to her or told to her or made up in her own head. She didn't care if they were books or movies or out of Nana's long memory. Grace just loved stories. After she had heard them, and sometimes while they were still going on, Grace would act them out. And she always gave herself the most important part. Okay. Grace went into battle as Joan of Arc. You can see here she's been her friends were Joan of Arc in battle. She wove a wicked web with Anansi, the spider. She hid inside the wooden horse at the gates of Troy. She went exploring for lost kingdoms. You can see her doing her exploration on her elephant. She sailed the 7 seas with a peg leg and a parrot. In other words, she was a pirate. She was Hiawatha sitting by the shining big sea water. She was Mowgli in the backyard jungle. You can see her walking like the young man did in the movie with her trusted cat. Most of all, Grace loved to act out adventure stories and fairy tales. When there was no one else around, Grace played all the parts herself. She set out to seek her fortune with no companion but her trusty cat, and found a city with streets paved in gold. Or she was Aladdin rubbing his magic lamp to make a genie appear. I don't know if you all have ever seen the Aladdin lamp where the genie would come out. I have one in the living room, but there's no genie coming out of it. Okay. Sometimes she would get Ma and Nana to join in when they were not too busy. Then she was Dr. Grace, and their lives were in her hands. There you can see her mother with the bandages around her, and the grandmother when she has a spoon trying to check out her heart. One day, Grace's teacher said they would do the play Peter Pan. Grace knew who she wanted to be. When she raised her hand, Raj said, "You can't be Peter. That's a boy's name." But Grace kept her hand up. "You can't be Peter," whispered Natalie. "He isn't black." But Grace kept her hand up. "All right," said the teacher. "Okay, lots of you want to be Peter Pan. We'll have an audition the next week to choose the parts." So in other words, since everybody wanted to be Peter Pan, she was going to have an audition to let them have an equal chance to be Peter Pan. When Grace got home, she seemed sad. "What's the matter?" asked Ma. Raj said, "I can't be Peter because I am a girl." "That just shows what Raj knows," says Ma. "A girl can be Peter Pan if she wants to." Grace cheered up. Then later she remembered something else. Natalie said, "I can't be Peter Pan because I'm black," she said. Ma looked angry, but before she could speak, Nana said, "It seems that Natalie is another one who don't know nothing. You can be anything you want, Grace, if you put your mind to it." And that's the key point, if you put your mind to it. On Saturday, Nana told Grace they were going out. In the afternoon, they caught a bus and train into town. Nana took Grace to a grand theater. The sign outside read, "Rosalie Wilkins in Romeo and Juliet," in sparkling lights. You can see at the top of the picture, the sparkling lights and the name of Rosalie Wilkins. "Are we going to the ballet, Nana?" asked Grace. "We are, honey. But first, I want you to look at this picture." And that's the picture at the top there. Grace looked up and saw a beautiful young ballerina in a tutu. Above the dancer, it said, "Stunning new Juliet." That one is little Rosalie from back home in Trinidad, said Nana. "Her granny and me, we grew up together on the island. She's always asking me, do I want tickets to see her Rosalie dance? So this time I said yes." After the ballet, Grace played the part of Juliet dancing around her room in her imaginary tutu. "I can be anything I want," she thought. You can see her dancing around. She had up in her mind that I can be a ballerina. I can be Juliet. On Monday, the class met for auditions to choose who is best for each part. When it was Grace's turn to be Peter, she knew exactly what to do and all the words to say. She had played Peter Pan all weekend. She took a deep breath and imagined herself flying. When it was time to vote, the class chose Raj to be Captain Hook and Natalie to be Wendy. There was no doubt who would be Peter Pan. Everyone voted for Grace. "You were fantastic," whispered Natalie. And you can see her in her audition and doing her dance and her fly. And some of the time the pages get to be a little difficult to turn. But I will get it together. Just hold on a second. Here we go. The play was a big success, and Grace was an amazing Peter Pan. After it was all over, she said, "I feel as if I could fly all the way home." "You probably could," said Ma. "Yes," said Nana. "If Grace put her mind to it, she can do anything she wants. Grace was an amazing person. That's why they called her Amazing Grace, because she can do anything that she put her mind to. And that's the end of our story.
Great. That was wonderful, James. Thank you for sharing that. She could have very easily listened to Raj and Natalie, right? When they
Yes.
told her she couldn't be Peter Pan.
And that's something that a lot of kids do. I often tell young people, I don't care if they're 3 or 99. I tell young people that your mind is the only thing that you have that no one can take from you. So
Yep.
do not give it away.
Yep.
People will say things, people will say hurtful things, but that does not mean that you have to believe them.
Yeah. You have a decision to make. You
Yes,
choose to listen to them or not.
yes. And I think that's what's really important for us to teach our young people today, especially when you have situations where they can't communicate. They're on different social media, different things get into their mind, no matter how young they are.
Yeah.
My 3-year-old granddaughter, uh, she can work her tablet, she can work your phone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Better than us.
And she can figure it out, okay? And she can control her environment. And it's, one of the things that we have to teach the children is how important they are, okay? Who they are is within them.
Mm-hmm.
We have to teach them how to build it. My,
Yeah.
my oldest granddaughter she'll be 18 on the 26th. And I even tell her, when you're on the basketball court, it's what's inside. You can make a difference and you can be a difference. Making a difference is catering to the outside world. Being a difference is bringing it up from your heart. Okay. And we have to tell our young children this, be they
Yep.
5, or 18. We have to let them know who they can be. Grace knew who she could be.
Yes.
She had the support. No, she already had it within. Remember, when she
Mm-hmm.
read, she played the part, everybody's part. She
Yep.
wanted the most important part. Don't shy away. That comes from within. And then, as with her mom and her nana, they supported her. And
Yep.
that's what we have to do with our young children today.
Yeah, that was the key part. Like you said, she obviously had that in her that whole time, but that very easily could not have been, the case.
Yep. And Raj and Natalie could have stripped her
Yep.
of it.
That quick.
And it happens. But she had it in her and she just decided, I'm going with this. And that's what made Grace amazing.
Mm-hmm. And how good did she feel afterwards? I love the ending where she felt like she could fly if she
Yep.
let herself.
And it's something about success. It's something about accomplishment. When a child realizes what they can do, when they first pick up a book and they realize that they can read, when they first started to learn the alphabet and learn words, then when they realize the more that they read, the more words they know and the
Mm-hmm.
more they understand. It's a growing process. Therefore, I like to give books out. I have a box in my car. I had a friend, his name was Charlie Tremendous Jones. And he basically published books. And
Okay.
my secretary had called to see if I could get copies of one of Ben Carson's books, because I gave them out to people that needed some inspiration. And when he found out what I was doing, he made books available to me. And he would always give me a book. He'd say, you want to read this one. But he knew that if I read it and I liked it, it would join the books I have in my car. And
Yeah.
one of them is Freedom from Fear from Mark Masterson. And I basically have those books and a few other ones in my car. And when I'm dealing with people with situations, I say, wait a minute. I go out, or if someone is with me, if some of the people that are with me that I give them books before, I say, go out to my car, you know which book to get. And they'll come back with the right book. But it's fun. We have to um, get the children reading. And one of the things that's very important that was in the front of this book was the fact that reading will improve your imagination.
Yes.
And you will start to think differently.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm 69, and when I was in junior high school, I read the book The Old Man and the Sea. And I can still, to this day, I didn't watch a movie. I read the book
Mm-hmm.
because I had to read the book to pass the class.
Right.
But to this day, I can still see that shark eating that marlin off the side of that man's boat. Okay, so
Yep.
reading will enhance your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And the more your imagination is enhanced, the greater your thinking process becomes. And if our children are thinking, nobody can take their mind from them.
Right.
That's an important fact.
They always have that.
Yep.
Yeah, in the beginning of the book, look how much fun she was having because she had these stories read to her or told to her. And, she just let her mind go and she was in her backyard, rubbing the lamp and walking like Mowgli with her cat. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
don't get that without reading.
And if you remember, she did not have one form of media.
Right.
She had books,
Yep.
she had movies.
Mm-hmm.
But probably the most important part was she had the stories of Nana.
Yes.
Okay, because that's going to give you an essence of your life. Now, I often talk to grandparents. I say, sit down and talk to your grandkids.
Yeah.
Let them know what your family history is about.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they can see it through your words and you present it to them and they can see it, they're going to live it.
Yep.
And it's going to be a part of them. But the important piece is the fact that it's going to be an innate part of them.
Yep.
And it's going to take them to the next step. So I know I love to see children sitting at adults' feet. I love to see adults giving them pertinent information about themselves, their families. I
Mm-hmm.
like to see them create traditions, with the families, not only at Christmas, but at
Yeah.
every
Every
element.
day.
Because the children will remember that and it will become a part of it. Now, how often can you remember some things that went on when you were a young girl,
Yep.
but it was put into you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And like,
that's so special that you say that because I feel like people don't always share that. Grandparents and parents don't always share that with their children,
oh, it's necessary.
Yeah.
It is quite necessary
Yep.
because the, no, the your children are going to develop a sense of importance.
Yeah.
It's up to you to make sure that they have the right sense of importance. Because
Right.
if you don't do it,
They'll
someone,
make it up. Yep. They'll make it up either way or somebody else will fill it.
that's right. But it will be filled.
Yeah.
It will be filled.
Yep. You're right.
Okay. So
That's
keep them
cool.
reading, keep them reading, have
Mm-hmm.
discussions with them about what they read.
Yep. And young, like your youngest grandchild's 3. I have a 4-year-old son, and it's amazing the stuff, they pick up on that early.
And, they can probably use the machines better than I can because it's what they're learning to do.
I know.
So
That's amazing.
my Google was an encyclopedia.
Right.
A different story.
What do we have today? We have E today.
Yeah.
Well, one little thing that Floyd gave me a call before our video call today, and he says hi, and of course we're so happy to have you on today. But he did share something with me about you that you have a fascination with the Eagles.
Yes.
Is that right?
Oh, well, I've been like that all my life.
Yeah.
One of the things that I looked at when you looked at the scriptures, they mount up on wings of eagles. So I said, what does that mean? So I started to study the eagle. And I've In my office when I was at Milton Hershey, I had like 57 eagle statues.
Did you?
Yeah. And when I went and I met with Charlie Tremendous Jones and I went into his office, he had eagles everywhere. So, we naturally
Oh,
started.
wow.
But when you look at it, when you look at an eagle, one of the takeaways, because I can't give them to all of them, but
Yeah.
one of the takeaways that you take from an eagle is an eagle waits for the perfect moment to attack its challenge. Okay, most people will run from a storm.
Mm-hmm.
Eagle loves a storm, and what it does, he doesn't fight the storm. He uses his body, his wings, to let that storm take him to his highest height. And once he's at his highest height, he's in his glory. And he can swirl, he can do what he wants, but he uses very little energy in getting it done. And with us, we allow the storms to run us raggedy.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing is that. So the question is, how do you deal with the storm? How do you deal with COVID? Okay. How do you deal with the loss of what you have? How does the kid deal with being out of school? Are they going to stretch their wings out and let the storm lift them? Or are they going to turn them down and let the storm devour them? So yeah, the ego is very important to me.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I loved your analogy. I mean, how much energy would the eagle use fighting this storm? But they know.
And they wait. They will sit on the perch
Yep.
and
Oh,
wait for the storm. And when a storm comes, they just spread their wings out. They do 3 or 4 flaps. They get in, tilt their wings. The other thing that people do not know about an eagle is when an eagle gets old, it regenerates itself. It goes up into the mountains. It plucks out his feathers. It plucks out his talons. When he's done doing that, it will knock off his beak. And in a matter of 6 to 8 weeks, younger eagles will feed them. In 6 to 8 weeks, everything is regenerated. He has new feathers, he
uh-huh.
has wings, he has new talents, he has a new beak.
Yep.
They live on. How many of us do that? I was 66 before I started going to the gym. And
Right.
I told the young lady who was going, I told her I need a person as a trainer because I don't know what I'm doing. And when I told her the story, she looked at me, she said, and that's exactly what we're going to do with you. We're going to break down your muscles. We're going to build
Uh-huh.
you back up. I told him, I said, okay, I've been doing all this talking. I got to do this now.
Right. Yep, it's on.
Yeah. And no, but the question is, do we rise to the challenge of today?
Right.
And with what faith do we rise to that challenge? You know, and
Gotta have strong faith to do it.
that's all a part of the ego that's in me. Okay.
Yep. So that's wonderful. And thank you for sharing that.
Okay. No, I'm glad to have had the opportunity.
Well, I hope you come back again on this virtual reading platform. I know you're a busy man. Floyd said you and your wife are both avid readers. What kind of book do you like to choose when you have some time to read in your free time?
Basically, I like inspirational books.
Okay.
Okay, because I really believe that what you read, what you experience, you do it for a reason, and it's the fact that you're going to meet someone that need that
Which
push.
you have.
Yes. Now, naturally, I read political books because I'm deeply involved in politics. Okay. And then I read spiritual books.
Okay.
I have to maintain myself.
Yep. Fill that cup.
Yeah. You have to keep it filled because if you don't fill it, someone else will. And
Yep. That's the truth. You don't want
and
to risk the wrong person filling it.
yeah, and once again, that is why the parents have to make sure that their children are drinking from the right cup
Yeah.
and eating from the right table of knowledge and they need to challenge when they feel that their children are not getting it.
Yeah. So important. And we're so, lucky to have people like you, obviously, that in the system, and your wife was a teacher. So it's great that we have people like you out there. So, well, thank you for coming on, James. I hope we see you again on this platform. Of course, I'm here every Friday. So pick a Friday if you can.
Okay, I will.
Well, thank you, everyone, if you joined us live today. Otherwise, please play us on the replay. We had a great story today, and we will see you all tomorrow because it's Reading 365.
Thank you for
Bye,
having
everyone.
me. Bye-bye.